And
And
I gave you some homework. I gave you a little homework to do last week.
Yeah, I checked out LaMelo, and it reminded me an awful lot of Lonzo. I mean, it does. And this, you asked me to check out the shot, and the first shot release that came to my mind was Sean Marion. He kind of used to flip it up like that a little bit. It was low because I go back to Bob McAdoo, and who didn't have the three. Well, he did have it, but he didn't master it. But he had a low release, but it never seemed to bother him too much. But Sean Marion's the one. Now, who do you, in addition to his brother, naturally, is there anybody else I missed that you're thinking of in that category of that kind of release?
No, I mean, it's just so, and I've watched him play since he was a freshman in high school. So, and I remember being out there a couple years ago. I was in Chino Hills for a while, and I was joking with him. It was 3 years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, before he went to Lithuania that summer before, and he was trying to dunk and he couldn't. And he was only like 6'3", 6'4" then, and I was making fun of him because he couldn't do it. And he tried it like 10 or 20 times, and I'm like, come on. And I do like LaMelo. Underneath it all, I like him. I've talked a little bit about his issues that I've seen, and it's kind of that entitled, he had a Lamborghini at 16 years old. His dad has allowed him to play the way he does, which is undisciplined. And his dad has not given him the best coaching. His dad has not put him in the best situations to succeed and be held accountable. I don't blame LaMelo Ball, honestly, for any of this. I really don't. I blame his father for all of it.
Sure. Well, I did.
There are a lot of bad habits.
I was always amazed that Alonzo appeared to be as stable and as liked as he is.
But because Lonzo became Lonzo before LeVar became LeVar. So Lonzo already had, and you are right. Listen, no doubt, even with LeVar, you could see that he could screw up Lonzo even, and he didn't. Lonzo's just he's so mature, and he always was so mature on the court and off the court. Both. Yeah. I say, like, imagine the situations, all the situations that his father put him in with his current coaches, all along the line, right? Steve Alford at UCLA, high school coaches, then obviously with Luke Walton, calling him out to me in Lithuania and killing Luke Walton. And never, ever, ever did Lonzo say a bad word about any of the coaches or his father through all of it. He somehow found a way to kind of be Switzerland and be neutral and stay above the fray, which is really impressive. So
I remember I'm sure we've had this conversation, but I remember thinking back in his original stint that, he must be with his relationship with his teammates. It's like he would walk in one morning and say, "Hey, Dad's at it again." I know that, or they would say to him, Dad's at it again. He'd go, "Yeah, but I know how to handle it." I guess it's got to be something like that, right? It's got to be.
No doubt. I think it is, and I think the hard part for LaMelo again was it came at a much earlier age than it did for Lonzo. The attention, all the fanfare, everything like that. A Lamborghini again at 16 years old. So I think it was harder for him to handle. And again, being the only child, he was taken out of high school right away, sent to Lithuania, playing pro, then in Australia last year. And, getting back to LaMelo, the player, Bob, and he's squarely in the mix for the #1 overall pick right now. By Minnesota.
I urge people go YouTube him up, and the passing is really something. Ambidextrous. He's got that eye in the back of his head thing going. He's really something. He can pass. He can really, of course, brother can too, but he can really pass the ball. Somebody's going to enjoy
elite level. It's elite level court vision and passing ability. Nobody can say otherwise to me. I mean, similar to Lonzo, but completely different than Lonzo because Lonzo makes it simple. LaMelo, everything, I compare him a little bit like Rondo in his passing and his court vision. Everything's dribble, no look, right? That was Rondo. Like he wanted, it was always flashy. A lot of it, I think, for LaMelo is about attention and just flair.
What the late, great Al McGuire would call that French pastry.
French pastry.
French pastry.
Yep. That's
So
very
for,
true.
for the
Very
older
true.
folks, just think of Val and French pastry when you were having this discussion about LaMelo's passing MO.